Identifying decision makers and key influencers. What's the difference between a decision maker and a key influencer? Decision makers give final approval, make the final decision, or have signing or veto authority. Key influencers have some say in the process, which could be very little or a great deal. Who plays a more important role in the sales process? Conventional wisdom would suggest that the decision maker does, but you must be very careful because this could be a misleading and dangerous assumption. Depending on the relationship between a decision maker and a key influencer, the decision maker may place a great deal of trust in key influencers. If the decision isn't a priority or critically important to the decision maker, they may allow the key influencer to do whatever they please. Here are some examples of specific questions that you should ask to determine who the key players are that get involved in both decision making and influencing decisions. What is the decision making process? Who are the key individuals who will get involved in a decision like this? Who has the final say regarding the direction that you go in with a decision such as this? Who has influence regarding this decision, or whose opinions are taken into consideration? When you are evaluating a vendor, what criteria do you take into consideration, and who all gets involved in the process?
What types of information do you want to uncover when prospecting? Harvesting and recording information is critical. Always be ready to ask questions and capture information. Some of the common information that you will want to record is the decision maker and the decision-making process, products and competitive information, what they are paying, current rates and/or pricing, what they currently buy, or what are they doing now, why they buy, and what they buy, costs associated with their current method or equipment, gaps in current product offerings, who they service, their target market, credit history, do they have a solid reputation, current needs, is there anything that they are currently looking for? Beyond these suggestions, there is also going to be industry and product or service specific information that you are also going to want to capture. You are encouraged to create and use a customer profile form and question template in which common questions are documented, and there is space for responses available.
Getting past gatekeepers and onto decision makers takes effort. Many sales stop long before they begin because the majority of salespeople give up too quickly or never even try in the first place. The profession of selling often offers people the opportunity to earn a better than average income as long as they are willing to do the work. Unfortunately, as Thomas Edison said, opportunity is missed by most people because it's dressed in overalls and looks like work.
The level of talent required to secure business from a prospect that is low-hanging fruit is minimal. When you focus your prospecting agenda on the needs, wants, and desires of the prospect, especially when they aren't necessarily searching for or considering solutions, you increase the odds of moving to scheduled appointments. What problems, stresses, concerns, challenges, or issues can your personal services or your company's services solve for a potential client? In your workbook, list up to 7 needs that you or your company, the products or services that you offer, can address for the prospect.
In your market segment and industry, clients will have common fears, concerns, apprehensions, and doubts about the industry as a whole, vendors, and the products and services that they offer. Defining your internal and external business strengths and having a broader view of the values that you and your company provide to potential clients is essential when attempting to create business opportunities. This is also referred to as value chain analysis. In order to be motivated to consider making a change, prospects will need to hear something, even if it is in the form of a question, that creates a desire or intrigues them. Review each of these departments within your company during this exercise. Suppliers, supply chain. Business operations. Research and development. Project management. Sales and marketing, including yourself. Logistics, implementation. Customer service. Technical support and service. High-level executives understand the entire scope of the business because they interact with touch points across the board. Salespeople don't need to have the same degree of intimate knowledge, but they do require a basic understanding in order to leverage this information when creating business opportunities.
When you are engaging in prospecting activities and asking questions, you should have a strategy for the questions that you ask in order to create open-mindedness and prospect willingness to converse further or schedule an appointment. Your strategy begins with a heightened awareness regarding the unique values that you can offer to your clients. Business people and salespeople are often unaware of the unique values that they offer to their clients. Here is a valuable exercise for you to complete in your workbook in order to identify your unique values. Begin by writing down something that you, your company, or the solutions that you provide do or does for your customers. For example, customize solutions. At the end of this step in the learning path, be prepared to complete this exercise as part of the course. It is often true that what separates vendors from their competition makes them unique isn't obvious to them. You are encouraged to work through this exercise. May you be surprised to discover some important reasons why long-term customers have chosen to do business with you and why new accounts have decided to engage your services as well. Why do you or why does your company or solution do this or that? In response to answer 1, how do you do this or that? In response to answer 2, why do you do this or that? In response to answer 3, how do you do this or that? In response to answer 4, why do you do this or that? In response to answer 5, how do you do this or that? In response to answer 6, why do you do this or that? In response to answer 7, how do you do this or that? In response to answer 8, why do you do this or that? In response to answer 9, how do you do this or that? You may have to repeat this process several times in order to narrow down your unique values. If you require additional worksheets, please ask.
Less experienced salespeople tend to focus their thoughts and sales approach on the product or service that their company sells. Customers are not interested in the product or service. They're interested in what it can or will do for them. Thinking needs to shift to the value that you can potentially bring to a client. As Michael Nere said, your unique value solves a problem for the customer or target market within your industry.
Increasing your success rate while making prospecting and/or appointment scheduling appointments is often dependent upon how you approach the call and the conversation. The majority of salespeople are going to say the same old blah 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 things and ask the same old lame questions on every call. In order to elevate yourself above the crowd, you need to stand out with the statements you make and the thought-provoking questions that you ask. Based on the unique values that you offer from the previous slides or pages in your workbook, what leading questions should you be asking potential prospects? Please document some examples in your workbook.
Learning Spotlight number 4. It's time to review what we've covered so far. Each question in the quiz has a 90-second time limit, and the quiz has a 15-minute time limit. You cannot pause the quiz once you begin. The quiz includes many types of questions including true or false, drag and drop, multiple answers, etc. Read the questions carefully and make sure you understand what is being asked before submitting your response. Many of the questions or variations of them will be included in the final exam. You will be graded, and the passing grade for the quiz is 70%. You will have 3 chances to attain a passing grade. If you fail to attain a passing grade after 3 attempts, you will be locked out of the course. You will have an opportunity to review the quiz responses upon successful completion. If you wish to review the previous slides and sections, do so before advancing. Upon completion of the quiz, please click on the green Next button with the white arrow in order to advance to the next step in the learning path. This concludes step number 8 of the learning path. Please click on the green Next button with the white arrow in order to advance when you are ready to proceed.